sent high by low. Hakoah wins the first header. In fact, it actually, yes, as the ball just hits the roof of this grandstand. Hakoah winning the aerial challenge, but it will be Hakoah's throw. Now, back to Knight and Spirakis. Now, that's an interesting play through the middle, but and the touch off Bankstown, and to Sabacic it goes. Throw in to Spirakis. Nestovsky. McKenzie gets in the way. Now Kloot. And Kloot, I think, wanted the early ball over the top, but didn't see kind of the appropriate run. Bankstown keeping it at the back with Djordjevic. Now Hakoah trying to build their next attack, and flag will stay down here. Cross into the middle and out of reach for Nestovsky. But they're keeping it alive, and Dorigo is off balance as he struck that. And nothing to bother Sabacic. Oh, a couple of balls. Our second instance of multi-ball today. Payne going very deep as he tries to build an attack. Hakoah snuffle that one out, and now Nestovsky looking at the outside of the boot, but it doesn't get over the incredibly tall figure of James McKenzie, that pass. Bankstown gradually moving it up the field, but right as I say that, Spirakis sends it forward. And it's the thing that Grozdanovsky this time is the one tracking back to help secure possession for Bankstown. Issa, and it's a great first touch from Kloot. Wonderful technique. I think he was looking for Chris Payne, who's drifted out wide in this phase of play. Kloot was snuffed out very quickly. Chiba now. The one-on-one battle. Chiba looking to go left into the byline. He crosses, and it's kind of like hip height, just traveling through the 6-yard box without a touch. Back in from Dorigo. That's cleared. Now Kloot, he can definitely turn. He has an option out wide. That's De Silva. Payne wants the switch, but De Silva, who's suddenly surrounded by white jerseys, loses out. But then, Bankstown win it straight back. Now it'll be switched to Chris Payne. Kloot again. Hakoah back in numbers. And Payne again, and there's a tumble, and let's see, where's the decision? Where was the foul taken? Or where was the foul committed? It looks like right on the edge of the box. So this could be an exciting one for the home team and the home fans as they will their side towards an equaliser. There'll be the usual, shall we say, discussions every time a free kick is conceded in that part of the field, but we are about to see a Bankstown City set piece. yellow card. I'll try and confirm, or I will try and confirm it's yellow card's gone to Hakoah number 3, Mitchell Knight. So I'm not sure if that was for the foul itself or for something he said afterwards. I suppose it doesn't really matter. And I see, Hakoah trying. It's always a curious one. I think what Hakoah are trying to do with defending that set piece looks like Ginjiro Chiba. He might be the person lying down. Oh, I thought Hakoah were going to have someone lying down behind the. Oh no, it's not Chiba, but it is someone. So whoever's drawn the short straw here is going to be lying down behind 5 of their teammates just to make sure nothing sneaks underneath the wall. And here it is, Chris Payne. The ground almost goes silent in anticipation. Here we go. He strikes it, and Payne over, but over because of a touch, I think, from Nicky Lowe. So corner coming up, and I think we've had over 25 minutes here. I actually do believe that is the first corner of the game to either side. Devontae Clute about to take this kick from nearby the flag. And Swinger coming up, and a little bit of a crowd in front of Nicky Lowe. Decent delivery, and Shattuck, I think that was, heading it away. And then the clearance completed, I think, by Chiba. I think that is. Now, kept in well there. Use of the heel. And now, this could be interesting as Chiba looking to sneak in here. Will it break for him? Challenge by Luka Kuda, ruled to be on the edge of the box, ruled to be clean, and then Luka Kuda himself is fouled. What about that back heel from Nicholas Toolleaves? To be on a hiding to nothing, running towards the edge of the playing surface. Defender on his back, but the back heel to get it over the defender. He nearly created a chance out of very, very little. We love seeing that kind of improvisation on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. As we restart with Savicic going very long, good distance on the goal kick. Now Grostanovsky, I think he was about to pull the trigger, prevented by a foot in there from Hakoah. And Spirakis steals in well. And yes, Spirakis, excellent central midfield work, providing the shield for his defenders, and then winning a free kick to relieve the pressure. Actually, I've always like it's kind of like, for me, a really underrated skill in being a central midfielder, being strong enough in physical battles such that you kind of force your opponents to foul you, and that's what Spirakis did that time. As Lowe gets us back underway. Decent first touch from Chiba, immediately getting close attention, and Bankstown take it off him. Clute has got runners. Through to Grostanovsky, and Lowe being the sweeper keeper, although he smashed it into his own player. In fact, we're going to have to stop it here because that's a sore one for Mitchell Knight. Got to take head injury seriously. The ball goes wide. But yes, Nicky Lowe was proactive with a good starting position and being the sweeper keeper, but it's one of those unfortunate ones. Absolutely smashed the ball into Mitchell Knight's face. And I think the physio is on here, so we're going to take a little bit of a breather. I think Mitchell Knight is at least sitting up, so I suppose that's a good sign. He's moving, but yeah. Any kind of suspected head injury could be a very nasty thing. So first, most importantly, we've got to check that Mitchell Knight is okay. Okay, so he's back on his feet as well. And of course, Mitch Knight will need to leave the field. And corner coming in. And near post delivery again defended by Hakoah. Chiba. Now, I see Mitch Knight's back on the field, so good to see. No lasting effects from that ball to the face. And that one's overcooked, so easy for Savicic. Quick throw. Decides to get on with it. Bankstown's number one. Yes, and Knight, good to see, back into central defence. So Hakoah seeing out the set piece while they were a player light. Okuda, almost his first time getting forward, and collision. He's won the foul against Samuel Young, the goal scorer. Clute signals and delivers. Confident shout from Nicolo, and good claim as well. Commanding the 6-yard box, and yeah, that's that'll be an indirect free kick. Nikola Djordjevic, well, Nikola Djordjevic obstructed the keeper's release, shall we say, and the ref was right on that. And then Djordjevic, strong header. Tackle ruled to be clean. Diagonal towards Nestovsky, spins away from Okuda, but he won't reach that. It's going to be Savicic, who, well, the way Savicic reached his hand out there near the edge of the box, I think there's at least one home fan of a nervous disposition who is worried that he was about to handle outside his box under no pressure, but Savicic, yeah, we've got to give him credit. I mean, he knew exactly where the edge of the box was. Dance back to the goalkeeper. Kuda, was he quick enough to keep it in play? Not quite. Throw in down the line for Hakoah, and a bit of a tumble off the ball. Oh, we'll just get on with it then. Who'd be a referee, huh? With all the stuff that could potentially go on. I think from memory, I refereed 3 games at community level, and I decided, yeah, that's it. I can't do this. Shout out to all match officials, as Clute is fouled. Now, long-range free kick coming up. Always an interesting question. In fact, they take it quickly, and the shot is very high. I was about to say, although, I mean, it's kind of a moot point now, a free kick in that kind of position. Maybe that's why they chose to take it quickly, because if you went for a direct shot centrally about 35 yards out, or 30 to 35 yards out, it's a difficult one, as the Hakoah physio's on again. Difficult to score from long range, but also, like, if you lob it into the box, it's very hard to head for goal if the ball is lofted in from the center of the field. Hard to get the angle. So this time, is that Spirakis? I see a number 6. In fact, is that an early substitution role? That's going to be quite unfortunate for Hakoah. I think it's Spirakis, such an experienced player, both at this level and the level above. He's been substituted before half-time, so must be an injury because such an experienced player. He's been a great servant for Hakoah, Yanis Spirakis, but tough one. Always tough to see that. He's picked up some kind of knock, has been replaced in central midfield by number 16, Jacob Hewitt. Now, Grostanovsky, played forward by Kloot. Masson now. And it's De Silva. Chris Payne. Edge of the box. Back to De Silva. Now as Issa overlaps. First time we've seen this. It's a decent ball. And the header is in. It's in. And the captain's cross has given us the equaliser. I think, pretty sure that's Chris Payne. Rising above the defence. Beat Nicky Lowe to the ball. And Bankstown City have their equaliser. Approaching half-time. Chris Payne's 14th of the season. That's a classic Chris Payne goal. The move was well worked down Bankstown's right-hand side. They made the space for Issa to get forward from right back, and he delivered the perfect cross for Bankstown City's talismanic forward, Chris Payne. 1-1 here at Jensen Park. So now, room for Nestovsky. And the ball, there could still be a chance here. And the shot is blocked by Issa. So the man who set up Bankstown's equaliser, showing what he can do at both ends of the field. Really telling block, because that was a good shooting opportunity. And Issa got in the way. Now, Fuchs. Out wide to Chiba. And Chiba again goes from way out and it's dipping. Needed a good save from Savicic, tipping it over. Oh, they stood off him. They stood off Chiba. Almost like they were daring him to have a shot from 40 yards out. And Chiba was like, you know what? I will shoot. Bankstown wise to the the threat of a quickly taken corner. And getting two players over to the flag very quickly. So something more conventional coming up from Hakoah's number 17. Plenty of tall players in there. Decent ball as well on the header. Yes. Hakoah keep it inside nearest to us. Cross from the newly introduced man Hewitt, blocked. Fuchs. Hewitt. Shattuck stayed forward. Nestovsky now. Up against Okuda. And Okuda sticking to him like glue and winning the free kick. Now, here's Payne, stuck in behind. the defense. Brings Clute into the play. Devontae Clute, and oh, it's flicked the top of the crossbar. Vicious shot that, I mean, Nicky Lowe wasn't going to reach. And Bankstown City nearly turned it around before half-time. I've spoken about how these teams score late in games, often. We've seen both of them score in the first half. This is really setting up to be a fascinating encounter as Savicic, outside of the boot, just looking for safety. Now, it was the second ball on the field. Well, I'm not sure how that happened. It was a very strange one. I mean, we can't even describe that to any kind of dark arts. So there's no, would make absolutely no sense to try and time waste late in the first half with the score at 1-1. So just not sure. Maybe a spectator just overthrew it. Who knows? Anyway, back underway. Samuel Young, the man who started the goal scoring today with his lovely taken goal. Chiba. He sneaks the shot past that wall of defenders, but it's a simple one for Savicic. Dance. And Grosinovsky, his path to goal was blocked. So was Hakoah, so it's Dance again. Now De Silva. And Hakoah staying strong on the edge of their box. Now it might open up. I think it's Hewitt. Oh, didn't take the ball with him. Now Hakoah, a little bit of room. And the left back now a bit more central in this phase of play for Bankstown. Clute. Left-footed shot this time. Easy. Easy one for Nicky Lowe. Also, by the way, I mean, you will have seen the scoreboard, I think, on the far side to our left. Just comparing it to my trusty stopwatch on my phone. Looks like they've started that about 20 or 30 seconds late. So, I mean, it's not, I suppose it's not enough to really throw you off that much. We do know that we are in the latter stages of the opening period. It's been a very intriguing period. Game ebbed and flowed in terms of who had the ascendancy, as is common when two teams are as evenly matched as we are, with third place Hakoah and fourth place Bankstown City. The second period will be fascinating, that's for sure. Chiba, back to Fuchs. And Hewitt loses out. So now this could be interesting. And now Grosinovsky, low shot. Nicky Lowe not beaten at the near post. Back into the middle, and that's over Grosinovsky. Headed away. So now Nestovsky. I think that's Thurigo. Now Young, and he's given Nestovsky too much of a task there. Perhaps just flagging something that I think will affect us in the second half. I'll hold that thought as Clute finds the Silva mishit shot. And Clute, Bankstown keeping it alive. Now look at all the room for Payne here. And Chris Payne looking for the curler. Chance for a second effort. Hakoah scramble and do it well. Looking for the quick break. Djordjevic blocking Tooley's route to goal. But Hakoah throw. And everyone's got to get back as quick as they can. And the sun is starting to drop here, of course, as we get into the late afternoon. I'm glad I remembered my sunglasses. This second half could be a little bit tricky when we're looking into the sun to our right as Savicic takes over. Payne. Touch off the chest. Now, couldn't link up with De Silva there. Hewitt dropping a bit deeper. How much time? Well, it's a rhetorical question. How much time has Mujtaba Ibrahimi added on? Well, we won't know, as I might get a touch here. Oh, thanks to that spectator in front of me. I'd rather not be required to control the ball. My first touch is looks like a football bouncing off a rocky outcrop, to be honest. Best leave that to the people in front of us. I think that's Fuchs. And be much time remaining, although a couple of stoppages. That will not break for Thule as Savicic takes over. I'm trying to keep an eye on the referee here just to see if he's glancing at his watch. Now looking towards the far side. I think that's Grosdanovsky up against Fuchs. There's some intriguing battles developing with wide attackers being one-on-one against fullbacks. Another thing to watch out for in the second half as the cross, it takes a touch. Yep, that'll be a corner, but in fact, we won't have time for the corner. It's 1-1 at halftime as the teams head to the dressing sheds. 1-1 between Bankstown City and Hakoah. Hakoah opened the scoring in about the 11th minute. A lovely take and strike from the edge of the box by Samuel Young. And then, let's say about the 36th minute, it was Chris Payne equalising a towering header off a great cross from his captain, Jeffrey Issa. So this is Eric Subihano on the mic from Jensen Park. We'll take a break of about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. ready? Hello everyone, welcome back to the second half of our broadcast from Jensen Park, the League One Men's Match of the Round for round 26, and it's all square as the teams head back out of the dressing sheds. Bankstown City 1, Hakoah FC 1. Now we do apologise, I was going back through the stream and there were some technical difficulties which affected the opening part of the stream, so my apologies, but I'll try and keep you up to date. So it was Hakoah FC. I'll give you a summary of what you might have missed. So for Hakoah FC, they did take the lead. A lovely side-footed finish from outside the box by Samuel Young is what opened the scoring. And then Bankstown City equalised with a towering header from Chris Payne. Now, I will also go through the lineups that are there once again, just in case, because I do believe that you would have missed that, unfortunately, when I went through them at the start of the game due to the technical issues. Anyway, here we go. There's the whistle, and away we go for the second half. With half the game gone, there's half the game still to go, and judging by what we saw in the opening 45 minutes, we're going to see plenty of exciting League One men's action, and I suppose, as a former league reporter for this competition before someone much better took over the writing, and they just kept me for the commentary. This is a league that has lots of late drama, seemingly multiple games each weekend. And these are two teams that certainly know a lot about scoring late goals. But early in the second half, here's Chiba, and a chance he squares it. Well, it's cleared. Bankstown City scrambling it away early in the second half. Now, Samuel Young, the man who opened the scoring for today's action. Now, Shattuck, Hakoah skipper, back to Nicky Lowe. By the way, I'll just run through the 11s that are out there. I'm hoping that I haven't missed any halftime subs. But anyway, for Bankstown, in goal, number 1, Stefan Savicic. So 4 at the back, from left to right. Number 19, Luke Okuda. Number 3, James McKenzie. Number 4, Nikola Djordjevic. And number 7, the captain, Jeffrey Issa. In central midfield, number 14, Jamie Masson. And number 47, Toby Dance. As here's a shot off the inside of the post. And it's in from Grosinovsky. And Bankstown City have turned it round. Jonathan Grosinovsky with the left foot. After Rhett De Silva almost scored a worldie, Grosinovsky followed up, fired at home. And Bankstown City leading by 2-1. Grosinovsky's 6th of the season, and it was such a clean strike. As the home side really roaring out of the blocks for the second half. They are very much a second half team. Looking at their stats, actually, I might have to do some maths on the fly, but they do really liven up after the break. As to be fair, do Hakoah, and that's really going to make things tasty over the remaining 43 minutes or so. Well, Knight plays it forward. Akuda's got a chase on, as does Nestovsky. And Hakoah, that's expert work, shepherding it over the goal line. Well, sorry, the rest of that Bankstown City lineup out there. So, yeah, so what's left is the shout-out to their front 4. Number 11, Rhett De Silva on the right. Number 9, Jonathan Grosinovsky, who's just scored on the left. In the central attacking role, or central playmaking role, number 10, Devante Kloop. And up front, furthest forward, number 6, Chris Payne. For Hakoah, in goal for them, number 1, Nicky Lowe. 4 at the back, so from left to right, that's number 5, Josh Fuchs. Number 4, the captain, Connor Shattuck. Number 3, Mitchell Knight. And number 12, Galen Dorigo. In central midfield, the first player substituted on in the first half was number 16, Jacob Hewitt. Alongside him, number 9, Samuel Young. On the right, number 28, Christopher Nestovsky. On the left, number 17, Ginjiro Chiba. In the central playmaking role is number 10, Nicholas Drummond, and furthest forward, number 11, Nicholas Tooley. having just done those lineups, this is the point. This is generally the time when I discover that a sub's been made at halftime. So, yeah, I think I've just given you some wrong information because I think I've seen number 18, Dimitri Kostopoulos, on the field for Bankstown City. Ah, well. Yeah, those of you that are familiar with my commentary, this happens every week. Don't worry about that. It's nothing new. Anyway, Chiba cutting inside. And it's touch loops up, and then it's away. So now I have to figure out who Dimitri Kostopoulos replaced. Klute goes wide to Jeffrey Issa. Now Grosinovsky lets it possession slip. Looks like number 18. Yeah, I think I'm confident enough to say that number 18, Dimitri Kostopoulos, has replaced number 47, Toby Dance, in a central midfield alongside number 14 for Bankstown, Jamie Masson. So apologies for that, everyone. Also, I have made another mistake. Apologies. Number 16 for Hakoah is actually Paul Arulo, not Jacob Hewitt. Got my 16s mixed up because Jacob Hewitt's on the Bankstown list. Again, ever. Sorry about that, but I think I've finally sorted that out for you. So, it's actually Paul Arulo in Hakoah central midfield alongside Samuel Young. Okay. Now, Savicic, yes, as keepers tend to do when their team has the lead in the second half, catches the ball and then just takes a gentle tumble to the synthetic turf. Now, quick throw and Masson furthest forward, looking for the support. I think that's Payne. And Payne is dispossessed. Now, of course, having discovered the presence of a Bankstown City halftime sub, now I suppose I better double check the Hakoah players as well. I'll keep an eye on that. Played from deep, and it's too heavy for any Hakoah player. Kostopoulos. Payne. Now Payne has spotted the keeper off his line, Nicky Lowe. Well, his back pedal wasn't the most panicked back pedal I've ever seen in my life. It's easy for the Hakoah shot stopper in the end. It's amazing the things that jog your memory. Chris Payne trying it from that range. I remember him scoring from about that part of the field when he was at Manly United playing in the 2014 Waratah Cup final. I think that he either opened the scoring for Manly United or that was the equaliser that day at Lambert Park when Chris Payne scored from 45 yards. Blacktown City eventually winning that game by 6-2. Actually, and Chris Payne showing has lost none of that ability to keep everyone on their toes. Now, here's Paul Arulo. Not Jacob Hewitt. I'm sorry, everyone. Again, Paul Arulo. Now Savicic will take over possession. McKenzie. Okuda. Intercepted by Young. Now Arulo. Payne dummies. Leaves it for Issa. Kostopoulos now. Klutz allowed to turn. De Silva. Isa's high and wide on the right-hand side. Gets the ball. Now strike from De Silva. And Fuchs aims for the sideline. It's an interesting one again. Yeah, so we are trying our best, myself and the camera operator for today, Willie. As there are these poles in our way, but we've positioned things hopefully such that the poles don't bother your view too much. As he's Klut again. Now Isa, he stayed forwards. Good run, stayed on side. Laid it off. Chris Payne, it's curling, and it's touched onto... I think that was a great save by Nicky Lowe in the end, touching it onto the crossbar. And it's bundled behind for a corner. But there we go. Chris Payne, this man can threaten from almost anywhere. An unlikely shooting opportunity. Maybe that longer range shot he tried a couple of minutes ago was just a little warm-up. That had all kind of bend and dip on it. And brought the best out of Nicky Lowe, the Hakoah goalkeeper. Danger not over from a Hakoah perspective. Here's the corner. Now, and swatted away by Lowe, but still in the box. I think that's Fuchs, with the defending inside his area. Now, Nestovsky. Oh, he might, well, almost beat the keeper to the ball, but Savicic judged it well. Good starting position, as the goalkeepers like to say. And the Bankstown City custodian has dealt with that. Now, foot in there by Grosinovsky. It goes back to Nicky Lowe. Now, let's see, we're getting close to the hour mark, so it's probably time to drop that stat. I said earlier about these teams finishing strongly, but we'll hold that thought as here's a shot. Hits the fence. Behind the goal. That shot from Nicholas Tooley, but we might as well keep it as up-to-date as possible. So I'm going to trying to figure out what percentage of Bankstown City's goals have come in the second half this season. Going to need the calculator on my smartphone for this one. Just remember, the phone is smart, the commentator certainly isn't. Just bear with it. I'm struggling with this relatively basic maths. Hang on, I might as well stick with the action for now, as it's played forward by Djordjevic. There we go. Got there in the end, so I got some stats on the fly for you, but firstly, this Bankstown City attack. Isa, and it's probably not a coincidence that as he's been able to get forward more and more, overlapping on the right, the better Bankstown City have looked. Now, Grosinovsky on the left. He's one-on-one with Dorigo. Scoops it up. Payne knocking it back. Klut. Now, Kostopoulos. By the way, this is the most up-to-date this stat can get, because this does include the goal Jonathan Grosinovsky just scored, or scored at the start of this second half, as there's some collision off the ball. And a yellow card. A yellow card. Is that Okuda? Yes, I think that's Luke Okuda, who's gone into the book. And I believe Mitchell Knight from Hakoah, the only other player in the book, in Mujtaba Ibrahimi's book so far. But now, yes, as I said, this is the most up-to-date you could possibly get for this statistic. If you, now including the goal scored today, Bankstown City, of their 53 goals they've scored this season, 73.6% of them have come in the second half of games. So Sash Turovsky's men are very much a second half side. Fact is, we're near at the hour mark. Might as well point out 29 goals in the final half hour of games. So certainly a team who finished strongly. But, I mean, Hakoah, you can say likewise, because, I mean, in the final half hour of games this season, they've scored 34 times. I think, out of their, I think, total of 63, I think it is for the season. Or 64 now, because Samuel opened the scoring today. So, if you're tuning in, I certainly thank you for your support of the Football New South Wales YouTube page. It's Eric Subihana here, having to put my sunglasses on because the clouds have stopped covering the sun. The joys of western-facing filming positions in the afternoon. Now, the player's still down receiving treatment. Apologies, not sure who that is. But this will be perhaps a chance to get some water for the players. A chance for the two sets of coaching staff to dispense some instructions. And it's one final push because Hakoah, after being in such a strong position early on when they opened the scoring, now they really need to mount some kind of comeback. Because really, as I remember in the league table, they come into this game on 52 points, 6 points off the leaders, Bulls FC Academy, 5 points off the team currently in the promotion relegation playoff spot, second place Mount Druitt. And you have to say a win pretty much necessary for them to keep up their any kind of promotion hopes. Now, it's the sight you don't like to see, and it's another injury for Hakoah, so they're very much in the wars this afternoon. Player having to be helped off the field. If I see a 12, I think that's Galen Dorigo. We do know that for Hakoah, number 14, Gabriel Antoniades is on. And I think Dorigo is the player that's made way, which would mean... Or maybe it's not, hang on. And I think, yes, paused. There's, yes. It's the backup keeper being the ball person, so we can get proceedings underway. Apologies, everyone. I'm just trying to see. I think it's, maybe it's not Dorigo who was helped off. Maybe it was Josh Fuchs. Have to wait for. As Lowe plays it forward. Oh. I'll get back to that later. Savicic outside of his box, sending it into opposition territory. Knight with the header. And there's another header. But then McKenzie sends it away. Now what I do know, that's newly introduced player, Gabriel Antoniades. When in doubt, throw it down the line. He's won 20 meters just like that. Now, Chiba will leave it for Antoniades. And the third Hakoah throw-in right in front of us in quick succession. Djurdjevic sends it up. Another throw. That's what confused me. As they made two subs at the same time. So, looks like both fullbacks are replaced. So that was Josh Fuchs and Galen Dorigo have left the field, one of them needing assistance. But, yeah, just to clarify, it's a recent Hakoah double sub. This man about to take another throw-in. Number 14, Gabriel Antoniades, now on the left hand at left back, and number 15, Philip Lapanitis at right back. Cross. Played away by Djurdjevic. Now it's Arolo. And Knight back to Lowe. Antoniades. There's Kuda heading away. Young gets the scraps. Now worked wide. And that's Tooley delivering it. Over Issa. Chiba will retrieve. And that's good goalkeeping from Savicic. Scoop pass, it's over the very tall figure of Djordjevic, but that's going to be easy for Savicic to deal with. Header from Young. And Kloot fouled in that particular aerial challenge. Might as well just clarify the remaining bench options for the two teams. So firstly, for Sash Turovsky, Bankstown City coach, he can choose from Jackson Jarnett, Jacob Hewitt, Sebastian Gorjevsky, Andrei Policic, and Vlada Shuput. While the three remaining players on the Hakoah bench that Craig Sharpley may bring later on: Ryan James, George Tucson Firth, and Behnam Gamush Ramandi. As is Chiba. Chiba can't beat Djordjevic, although and the fighter is still going to fight for possession and a little bit too much fight, according to Mujtaba Ebrahimi, today's referee. Now, once again, might go through, just to remind you, because of course there's streams coming up later today and also a lot of streams on Sunday. So 3 NPL men's games being played after this one. 5:30 p.m. kickoff from the Arctic Circle. Our beloved nickname for Spirit's home ground. It's Spirit versus Sydney Olympic. And look out for the match report of Spirit versus Olympic. Be out tonight from legendary Football New South Wales reporter Justin Smith. And there's 2 NPL men's games at 7 p.m. The Fairfield Fracas, Marconi versus Sydney United 58 from the Palace, Marconi Stadium, called by Pretty Boy Alexander Molchanov. That's at 7 p.m. And I'll be calling a game at 7 p.m. So I've got to leave quickly after this game's done. I'll be at Landon Stadium to call a big game in the relegation dogfight for NPL men's, Hills United versus St. George FC. And I will team up with another long-time Football New South Wales reporter Justin Davies at that particular game. Now, loose in the box, and there's up for grabs for a moment there before it was cleared. Now, worked to Antonio Des, and he chops it into the middle. Bankstown standing firm. Now, Payne, and here's De Silva. The numbers favor Hakoah, but De Silva's going to give it a shot anyway. The ball looking for Grostanovsky. And Grostanovsky is booked. As Grostanovsky challenging in the air, and then It's played forward. Played forward by Nicky Lowe. The time's starting to become the enemy. For Hakoah. As it's worked back. Issa keeps it in play. Now De Silva. It's starting to become an enemy for Hakoah. They're not in kitchen sink territory just yet. Savicic plays it forward, but certainly the way this game has gone in terms of the intensity and the way Hakoah's season has gone in terms of the pattern of their goal scoring. I mean, certainly have not seen the last of the excitement. Oh, now, well. Kostopoulos. Now, some optimism from the Hakoah fans saying that would be a red card. I mean, that's a very clear foul, although certainly not one of the 7 offences that would constitute a red card. Dimitri Kostopoulos into the book for that foul. Stood up by Chiba. And flag's up. The flag is up from Sean Lacey, the assistant on the far side. And that set piece opportunity goes to waste. Clute. Payne. Always looks like he has time, Chris Payne. Such a composed player. This is Djordjevic. Towards Grosinovsky. And it's over Lapanitis. Grosinovsky, you get to this near the corner flag. Wins the throw. Payne. Now Akuda's cross blocked. Bankstown, and I mean, obviously they'd love to score another goal, but I mean, given the game situation, having it up this part of the field is just fine by them, but broken up. Then ball forward, intercepted by Issa. Back to Kostopoulos. And back to Djordjevic. Now, Payne will give chase, and Shattuck, it's a little bit awkward, but at the second time of asking, he heads it back to the keeper. And just as I kind of go slowly through the upcoming streams this weekend, once again, 3 NPL men's games for you tomorrow on the Football New South Wales YouTube page, the same way you're watching this one. And all of them are at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So firstly, from Plume Park, Central Coast Mariners versus St George City, called by the voice of Central Coast football, Peter Pryor. There's also Blacktown City versus Western Sydney Wanderers, called by Twitch streaming expert William Constantinidis. And Rockdale Illingdon versus RPL Leichhardt. A little Waratah Cup final preview for you there. Great. Some illustrious media names to be working that Rockdale versus RPA game tomorrow at 3 p.m. Jack George with the match report. Jude Dolan on the socials at the NPL New South Wales Instagram page, and Brett Nielsen taking photos. So lovely to see that quality there, as that will be a goal kick. Savicic sends it into opposition territory. Payne with the flick towards Grozdanovsky, and then it's a strong tackle. Oh, actually, I think it was the other way around. Grozdanovsky with the flick towards Payne. Anyway, Hakoah with Antoniades. Got some room to run, and he'll show some adventure. Nestovsky. Hakoah now looking far side. Cross in there, headed backwards, corner kick. I suppose, looking at the clock, is the time to, once again, to remind you, Hakoah have scored 23 goals in the 76th minute or later this season. 23. Anyway, outswinger to the near post. That will not, at least immediately, lead to number 24, but they get another corner. It's a good delivery, and there's coming in with a later run, Nicholas Tooley. Header goes over. Which reminds me, let's go around the grounds. And finally, a substitution that I've seen. It is very much my weakness, noticing subs on the far side of the field, but Hakoah using their 4th and 5th substitutions of the game. So if we assume number 20 is the backup keeper, that was Ryan James. This should be George Toussaint Firth and Behnam Gamush Ramandi coming on. So yes, you can see the tall figure of George Toussaint Firth in number 23, and good to see a fellow forearm tattoo owner on the field. Shout out to you, George. And we should see in the green boots, number 54, Behnam Gamush Ramandi. Apologies, didn't see who was replaced. Possibly Nicholas Tooley. Possibly Nicholas Tooley was one of the players withdrawn by Craig Sharpley. A man who, in case you missed it, you might have missed it when I said this in the introduction, Craig Sharpley. And also thanks to League One men's reporter Justin Smith for giving me this information. Craig Sharpley, risen through the ranks, coaching youth before becoming first-grade coach. As could be a chance for Nestovsky, and it just couldn't reel it in, so it's a goal kick. He was anticipating, nearly broke his way. Very teasing cross in there from the left-hand side. Now, definitely in, shall we say, game management territory. Stevan Savicic, at least with the score the way it is, he certainly ain't going to hurry with these goal kicks from now until the end of the game. As Chiba goes back to Young. Stood up. Headed away by Djordjevic. Headed back by Young. And Chiba. Ramandi. Now Antoniades. Decent cross. Headed away by McKenzie. Mitchell Knight now. And Knight puts it up. That's going to be over Chiba. De Silva's back defending for Bankstown. Now, it's important to play the game situation, but even so, from now until the end of the game, still a long time to park the bus as we are in the 79th minute. I certainly wouldn't recommend it. Now, Ramandi chasing this one. Djordjevic, is he going to try the long-distance shepherd? Oh, that's excellent work from Djordjevic. Every centre-back I've ever met loves a good shepherd. And Djordjevic demonstrating that particular art very well. Payne uses the outside of the foot, and Knight didn't get the contact he wanted. Headed from outside the box by the keeper. Payne wouldn't drop for him as Ramandi steps in before Payne pulled the trigger. Or could pull the trigger. Chiba looking to take it the other way. Hakoah will take the throw in quickly. It's Tucson Firth. In fact, offside against Tucson Firth. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to check my live score up to see how the other 3 p.m. kickoff is doing. Well. In the final 10 minutes at Adensa Park, it is Bulls FC Academy 0, SD Raiders 4. I didn't expect to see that when I opened the app. Anyway, that'll make things very spicy. So, might as well talk about the other games for this round 26 of League One Men's. 5 p.m. Rydalmere versus Spartans. And all of these games today. 6:30 p.m. Northern Tigers versus Nepean. And the remaining 4 games at 7 p.m. Those would be Dulwich Hill versus Bonnyrigg, Inter versus Mount Druitt, MacArthur versus Dunbar, and NSW versus Canterbury Bankstown. I liked it much better when they were known as Berries. Anyway, that Canterbury Bankstown still very hard to get used to. It's like saying Parramatta FC instead of Melita. Cross didn't have the curl required to meet Tucson Firth's run. So Savicic will look to take as long as he can with this. And Tucson Firth, well, you can't prevent the keeper from releasing the ball, but Tucson Firth is far enough away to not draw the ire of the referee. Throw in. Okay, now, of course, before we're done here, I might as well give one shout out to the other streams I haven't mentioned yet, or haven't given a plug in this second half, because there's 8 women's games that you can watch tomorrow on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. One of them is the League One Women's Match of the Round, the women's second tier. Actually, I'll hold that thought, because there's an attack. De Silva up against Antonia Des, and good fullback work there from the player introduced in the second half. But yes, the League One Women's Match of the Round, that's tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. when Tory Toomer's Sutherland Strikers host SD Raiders at Harry Denning. And the commentary for that will be from Ireland's own David Feeney, one of a few first-time commentators, or for commentators for whom this is their first season with the Football New South Wales media team. And it's so good to have a fellow fan of Irish national teams among us for 2024. Again, Tucson Firth is the target. Mackenzie clears that behind for a corner. By the way, just thinking of that, shout out to all the people who've followed me on social media for a long time and who know that I am very much a big fan of centre-backs named Mackenzie. Anyway. It's the in-swinger this time, and strong header at the near post. I think that was Payne. Ramandi, with Bankstown wanting a handball. Officials not interested now. Yeah, remember, an attacking set piece is an opportunity for both teams to score. That's what Bankstown City are trying to do right now. But the white jerseys rushing back, and I think their Hakoah's transition, at least that time, a bit better than Bankstown's. Shattuck looking to drop one over the top for Tucson Firth. And, that's a sensational tackle. I think that was Jonathan Grosinovsky, the man who at the moment is the match winner. His powerful strike early in the second half is what put Bankstown City 2-1 up. Well, that was a sliding tackle every defender would be proud of. Clean, got the ball, kept it in play, even had the chance to start an attack. Well done, Jonathan. Nestovsky has the wide option. That's Lapinitis. And a spectacular from Chiba. It goes wide. A scissor kick from near the edge of the box. Chiba trying to be inventive there. Wasn't too far away. Now, substitution coming up. Well, it can't be for Hakoah. And I don't think there's anyone... Oh, actually, no. I can see Sean Lacey heading over to the technical areas and the notebook's up. So I think that, the home side are going to try a sub. Although there is a play... Actually, no. The pause is because... Actually, no, I think we're going to see a sub, but also there's a Bankstown player who needs some treatment. So while possibly Grosinovsky, apologies, I'm not quite sure. We might just run through the 7 NPL women's games that'll be available tomorrow on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. The women's action, or the NPL, the top tier women's action starts 4:40 p.m. tomorrow from the incredibly cold Northbridge Oval with Bulls FC Academy versus Northern Tigers. Then at 4:45 p.m. Football New South Wales Institute versus Sydney University. And of course, Sydney University, a team that was incredibly lucky to defeat Hills United in the Sapphire Cup quarterfinals recently. But anyway, Sydney University versus Football New South Wales Institute, 4:45 p.m. tomorrow. There's 4 NPL women's games at 5 p.m. I'll be on the mic from Cromer Park to call Manly United versus Emerging Jets. Also at 5 p.m., Illawarra Stingrays versus RPL Leichhardt, called by Wollongong Saxboy Thomas Phillips. 5 p.m. tomorrow is University of New South Wales versus Macarthur Rams. By the way, congratulations to the incredibly good-looking Macarthur Rams women's coach, Stephen Peters. He's been announced as the Perth Glory A-League women's coach for the next 2 seasons. Well done to you, Stephen. And also at 5 p.m. tomorrow in NPL Women's, as Clute gets fouled there, Blacktown Spartans versus Sydney Olympic. Then at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, the NPL Women's match of the round from the Arctic Circle. And it's a derby. The Arctic Affray, I suppose we could call this. The Ryde Council Rumble, the Macquarie Park Melee, but anyway, however you want to call it. Northwest Sydney Spirit versus Gladesville Ravens. And of course, if it's an NPL Women's match of the rounds, there's only one man for the job. And it's the Serbian Martin Tyler, Nikola Pozder. As Stevan Savicic is about to get booked for what they call delaying the restart. And also, by the way, in that women's match of the round tomorrow, Spirit versus Ravens, 5:30 p.m. Congratulations in advance to Henley Warner, who I believe will be operating the socials. Now, the Bankstown City sub, by the way, Vlada Shuput has come on as my pen lid goes flying. So it might be Grozdanovsky who is replaced. So I think I can see Chris Payne on the far side. By the way, just... As Tucson Firth does not get the decision to go his way. Yeah, actually, well, Sash Turovsky, I think I see what's going on here. Making them subs one at a time, with the side leading 2-1 in the late stages. So it's good I can hear it's good I can hear some of the spectators, because the Let's Go Andre means that number 39 Andre Policic is now on the field as well. Sash Turovsky could have made those subs at the same time, but he chose not to. I think we all know why. He's trying to run that clock down a little bit more with his team leading by 2-1. I've dropped my pen lid again. Apologies, everyone. Hakoah goes short. This set piece. Plenty of options in the middle, and there's the shot from Mitchell Knight, which goes over. By the way, there is also a midweek League One men's game. I've mentioned all the others. All the others are being played today, but yes, Tuesday, 8 p.m., Bonnyrigg White Eagles versus Dunbar Rovers. So I'm sure that might be covered in at least some detail by League One men's reporter Justin Smith, but we might perhaps in either the next preview or the next review, depending on how the timings and the deadlines work out. But, of course, keep an eye out on Sunday evening for Justin Smith's, as always, high-quality review of Round 26 of League One Men's with this and the other 7 games that have been played today. Connor Shattuck goes into the notebook. And while in the mood to plug streams, I might as well talk about, because I believe both Sapphire Cup semi-finals are going to be streamed. The Women's Football New South Wales knockout competition, or at least I hope so. But just in case they are, I mean, the first Sapphire Cup semi-final is on Wednesday, the 31st of July, 8 p.m. kickoff at the Arctic Circle between Northwest Sydney Spirit and Northern Tigers. And then Wednesday, 7th of August, the incredibly lucky Sydney University up against Sydney Olympic at Sydney University Football Ground. And that, I believe, is a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Actually, I better check that. I forgot to write it down in my notes. Anyway, Bankstown City corner kick, and this stage of the game, that's just about perfect for them to keep it as far away from their goal as possible. Sorry, that Sapphire Cup game between Sydney Uni and Sydney Olympic, 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, 7th of August. Of course, as we know, Sydney Uni very lucky to be there. Corner coming in, and Payne wanted some kind of decision, isn't getting any of it. Good closing down from Shuput. Oh, no, sorry, that's Policic. This is Shuput. To the byline, wins a corner. This will help run the clock down a little bit more. 90th, into the 90th minute. And Bankstown there, certainly in no rush. It would be a big result for them to extend their unbeaten run to 6 games. Here's the corner, and flicks off Policic's head. Chris Payne can't retrieve it. Now Hakoah have got the length of the field to go. They get some kind of a result here. As always used to be the case until the 1998 Men's World Cup, we don't know how much time added on there will be. Back heel doesn't work out for Antonio Reyes. Here's Rhett De Silva. I wonder if he thought about going to the corner flag. Here's Kostopoulos, laid off. De Silva again wants it on the right foot. Not allowed to shoot. Ramandi. Chiba cutting inside, got 3 in front of him. One of them's Ramandi. And he shoots, drags it across the face of goal. And, shall we say, the ironic cheer from the Bankstown City fans. Long throw. Tucson Furf's in the mix. Played up and away by Kostopoulos. And then, Bankstown City players smashing it into the Hakoah dugout. Ooh. We've already had one ball to the face today. Good to see Mitch Knight's okay, but I'd rather, let's not have another one, please. Chiba looking for some kind of room. That's a nice ball to Antonio Reyes. And he delivers to the far post. Too far for everyone. And it's retrieved. Bankstown City still have to be alert. Now, Tucson Firth. That header doesn't have the juice to threaten Stevan Savicic, and he does what every keeper loves doing. And the team is leading by 1 goal in second half stoppage time. Catches the ball. Falls slowly to the ground. Shout out to Sarah Easthope, Hills United women's keeper. One of the best exponents of that particular fall in the Football New South Wales competitions. Masson. One for Shuput to chase. Shuput will get to it first and beats the defender. How much ambition does he have? Enough to cross. Too much chili sauce on that one. Oh, we have 2.5 minutes of time added on already. And yep, there's a referee glancing at the watch. If Hakoah are going to do something, pretty much has to be now. Big, strong work there from James McKenzie. And James McKenzie defending like Mackenzie Barry there. Obviously, Bankstown choosing to go long. But there's still time. Yeah, there's a little bit of room, but the home team continuing to stand firm. That's going to be a free kick now. Yeah, I was wondering about that. There's at least one person in the stand telling the keeper, Hakoah keeper Nicky Lowe, to come up for the set piece. He is, he's thinking about it. Is he going to make a late run? Yeah, why not? Why not? Keeper, here's one for fans of keepers going up for set pieces. Oh, I'd better pay attention to this. Anything could happen. It's going to be absolute melee in the box here as it goes towards Nicky Lowe. And the two keepers almost collide there. Ramandi. Will it settle for him to deliver across? Ramandi gets it into the middle somehow. Now, here's a shot. Blocked. One person shouts for a handball. Now, ooh, that was almost a one-on-one chance for Bankstown. And Nestovsky finds the pass to Tucson Firth. Sent into the fence. Another glance at the watch. Ooh, I mean, these Bankstown City fans in this grandstand, they won't want to look at my stopwatch. Anyway, the Megan Campbell coming up. Long throw. It's over Shattuck. Now it stays in. Now scooped up. Keeper stays on his line. And who's it going to break for at the edge of the box? Bankstown just doing enough, and then that will go wide. And that's full time. Bankstown City have defended their home synthetic turf. They've defeated Hakoah FC by 2-1. They had to come from behind because Samuel Young opened the scoring in the 11th minute for Hakoah. Christopher Payne equalised in the 36th minute to make it 1-1, heading in off a great cross from Jeffrey Issa. And the goal that would prove to be the winner came in the 47th minute, just after halftime. Jonathan Grostanovsky finishing with aplomb after Rhett Da Silva had hit the inside of the post. We hope you stick around for the streams coming up today on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. One last time at 5:30 p.m. from the Arctic Circle, Northwest Sydney Spirit versus Sydney Olympic. Then at 7 p.m. from the Palace, Marconi Stadium. It's the Russian Simon Hill, Alexander Molchanov calling Marconi Stallions versus Sydney United 58. And I'll be at Landon Stadium for the other 7 p.m. game between Hills United and St George FC. But for now, and on behalf of Football New South Wales and our camera operator Willie, this is Eric Subihano signing off. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of League One Men's. Take care, have plenty of good vibes, great coffee, sick tattoos, razzlers, and may your team stand firm at home when they need to. See you next time.